Here we are, everybody. Tuesday, January 21st, and it is an episode of Let There Be Talk number 786. Tuesday. I've been feeling the Tuesday releases lately. I kind of feel like at this point in my podcast career that I don't know, Tuesday just feels a little better. I've said it over and over for the last few years. I should do this on Tuesday just because I'm usually traveling on the weekend. I get home, I'm fucking totally scrambled or super burnt or whatever. And then I got to rush to put the podcast together. And unless I've recorded the episode a week out or something with a guest, it it's just kind of feels better to do on Tuesday. Somebody wrote like, "Hey, did you stop doing the podcast?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" Like the last couple episodes have been the biggest ones in I don't know over a year. So if you aren't subscribed to the podcast, what are you doing? It just takes 1 second. Bing! You just press a button, subscribe, and you get them every week, no matter what. Because I get it, your week gets busy and you forget and you're listening to 7,000 podcasts that are out this time of the world, and it might slip by you. And then next thing you know, you're like, does he still even do that? It's like, fuck yeah, I do. I'm one of the longest running. I'm the OGer. Me, Burr, Rogan, Corolla. Who else was out there in the Marin in the early days? Fuck, man. 12 fucking years. I'm waiting to be that 12-year overnight success. It's all good, man. I'm completely successful. 100%. Anybody that listens to this, if you had 10 people listening, that's kind of successful in a podcast fucking dirty village out there of a million shows. Anyway, speaking of Marin, I want to give a shout out to the great Bill Burr. He was on Marin on Monday, and he said some very kind words about me, and it just absolutely meant the world to me to have, one of your great friends just shout you out, man, and talk about how much our friendship means to him. So thank you so much, man. That is, it got me a little teary eyed actually, because, Bill has been just an incredible friend to me, and to know I'm the same to him, which I already know, but it's just fucking great. And also, Bill and Shane Gillis are doing a fire benefit at the Will Turn next Monday, the 27th. Tickets go on sale right now. If you're listening to this podcast, they went on sale at, I believe, noon. So go get them right away. That's next Monday. All the money being donated to the fire relief. And by the way, I want to tell you right now, these fucking fires are still burning. Just because maybe the news gets a little bored of covering it, this is still blazing big time. The one in my neighborhood, which was Palisades, or sorry, Pasadena, Altadena. Let me see where that's at right now. And I follow this Watch Duty app, and unbelievable Watch Duty, 89%. 2025 Watch Duty app looks like you're playing a board game, Risk or something, from the 60s. Update the app, buddies. I mean, it's helpful, but you have no idea fucking how to read it. It's like it comes up, it'll say evacuation order 0767 0777, and you're like, well, what neighborhood am I in? Come on, man. Just make it where you press on the app, you see where to evacuate right away, like, holy shit, that's in my area, my neighborhood, and you get the fuck out. These numbers is just, I mean, you're freaking out basically when you're worried about the fire, and then you got to figure out what code your neighborhood is. I think you should be able to press it and bam, you're right there in the neighborhood. Like, holy shit, that's right there. Anyway, so Palisades is at 63% containment, which, god damn, I feel for those firefighters. They've been out there, I think, 12 days now, 13 days. And then Altadena, 89%. And, people have been asking me, how am I doing? And I can't thank them enough for hitting me up because you know, yesterday I'm fucking sitting in my living room and there's windows in my living room and I'm doing laundry and I've been staying home because I'm pretty vigilant about staying in right now because the first day of the fire, I walked down to get some tacos. I had no food and my fucking lungs were charred for over a week. So I'm vigilant about staying home, staying in with Gertie. And then I look out the window and there it is. A giant like fire instantly in my backyard. And I'm going, what the fuck is that? I just yell out, there's no one in here. I go, fucking fire. And I've got my bags still packed. They have not been unpacked. And so I immediately call a few friends who live in the neighborhood and I'm like, hey, heads up, fire. And they're like, holy shit, thanks. And as I'm calling them, I see the biggest fucking helicopter come in and just with water and blast this one section immediately. And I'm like, whoa, fuck, they were instantly here. This is incredible. And then about 2 minutes later, I see fire engines going up there. And then about 5 or 4 minutes later, again, I see the helicopter come again. Just perfect fucking shots. I'll put it on the Instagram and just douse this thing. And then they're up there for a good half hour putting this out. And meanwhile, we find out it's a goddamn fucking arsonist. And he's running around up there. They got ring cams, photos, everything, videos, and they catch this fucking piece of shit. And I think if you start arson during these fire times, it's just automatic life in prison. That's just how it should be, because what you're doing right now is you're just arson, potential murder of thousands of people if you just start burning a neighborhood, and especially at night or something. We got to get some drones out there, man, and just start patrolling the area. And the drones should have just lasers. You just see a guy up there, just fucking laser these guys, man. Anyway, thank you, Los Angeles Fire Department. And thank you, City of Los Angeles, man. They have been absolutely vigilant on catching looters and these insane arsonists, and also the city workers that fixed my power lines. They were down for 4 days from the initial storm, and I got power. I'm up and running, and thank you to all of the people in Los Angeles. And like I said, I've done 2 fire benefits so far. I'll be continuing to do nonstop Los Angeles comedy show fire benefits. So anyway, this Monday will turn Bill Burr, Shane Gillis. And that's going to be a lot of fun and a great, great cause. Well, I doing the podcast on Monday, and I just Tuesday. Sorry, I got up this morning to go get my physical. I'm going to be 59 next month, and you know how I'm always barking at people that have health care and they don't go get their fucking physicals. And if you're following the show, a couple weeks ago, I had this licorice root overdose and almost blasted myself back into diabetes land. But I would say as of yesterday and today, after all of that time, I think it's been like 2 weeks, and you could probably add the incredible amount of stress I'm feeling lately from the fires. And I'm telling you, man, I live in an area that could go up like a fucking torch. So that stress and this licorice root overdose, I had been feeling really fucking bad. And so I booked my physical a couple weeks early because my birthday's on February 3rd. I usually do it in February, but this time I was like, I got to get in there in case something's really happening. But as of yesterday and today, I feel back into the Delray clean living body. I've been fucking doing some yoga. Anyway, the joint aches totally gone. It was licorice root. All that shit, the joint aches, the weird fucking semi migraine, the blurry vision. That was all licorice root, 1,000 milligram overdose. So I went and got my physical this morning. The old fucking finger up the butt. Yeah. I ain't getting no finger up my butt, man. Fucking dumb dudes out there getting prostate cancer because they don't get checked. You are a dumb dude. Anyway, I love my doctor. I've been going to this guy for years. He's the driest dude. He's the guy that delivered the diabetes diagnosis to me. He just came in. I'll never forget it. Looks pretty good. Your cholesterol's good. Your blood, your what did he say? He said, this is what he said. He came in, he's real dry, just super. This is the kind of doctor you want. Cause I went to a throat doctor a couple months ago and the guy was a fucking joker. Hey man, let me see down your throat. I was like, what are you doing, dude? You know, he knew I was a comedian, so he was just fucking dropping dumb, hacky jokes and, you know, just awful shit. My doctor, love him. This is how, when I go to my doctor, this is how he does it. You go into the waiting room, right? Then he calls you in his office first, which is cool. It's got this fucking amazing view of Santa Monica. And you sit down and he pops open his computer and he goes, okay, let's see. Last year, your blood sugar was 5.9. Let's see here. Your heart was this, and you got a calcium score 49. You work out 5 days a week. You had an appendix surgery when you were 16. You had diabetes in 2016. The guy's just reading you your fucking history, and then because he wants to check the numbers and make sure you're not going, back into bad shit. He's the same guy. When he told me I had diabetes, I came back like 3 months later. I'd lost 40 pounds. I walked in and he goes like this. Whoa. I go, what? And he goes, well, I tell people every day in here they got diabetes and they just go give me the medicine. And look at you. You did something about it. He goes, it's 1 in 1,000 people that do something about it. Anyway, he comes in. This is how he gave me the diagnosis. He goes, okay, let's see. Your blood pressure's good. Your cholesterol good. You got diabetes and you're low on vitamin C. I go, what? He goes, you're low on vitamin C. I go, no, the diabetes. You just said it. And he goes, everybody's getting it. I was like, what the fuck? Anyway, I've been trying to do that as a bit for look, I got diabetes 2016. And every time I bring it up, the entire audience goes, huh. Like everybody in the audience is either pre-diabetic or they have diabetes or they just don't want to hear about it or one of their friends fucking lost a foot, whatever. But I'm going to figure out how to make this fucking funny. 2025, my topics this year will be, I think I said it before, healthy living and non-healthy people and healthy people, America, the poisoning, the Roundup in the soil, the Instagram algorithm of showing you everything poisonous and cancerous and, oh my God, death scroll. Anyway, that's what I'm going to be trying to do. So yeah, I got up, got the physical, and then here I am doing the podcast. It takes a few days to find out how the blood is, but blood pressure's been fucking great. I got a blood pressure machine. It's like $21 over at fucking CVS. And I just chug it every day, around 2 in the afternoon. And, I'd rather know than not know because that's just a time bomb. Just walking around with high blood pressure and you don't know. So, anyway, you can get one of those and go get a calcium score. It takes about 13 seconds. They just run this donut down your body and tells you if you got any plaque in your heart. Anyway, the reason I'm bringing all this up is the longer you live, the more that people die. Either you die or people die. And that's where I'm at in my life at 58, going to be 59 next week. A lot of my favorite humans, artists, the greats are going away. And in this week, I'm writing down notes. I'm like, okay, we lost David Lynch this week. I'm going to do a full-on David Lynch tribute. And as I'm doing that, and preparing for the podcast yesterday, John Sykes passes away. The great Blue Murder, Tigers of Pantang, and of course, Thin Lizzy, guitar god, and friend of mine. And then Garth Hudson from the band, one of the greatest B3 players of all time, just a super legend. All three of these are super legends. I'll start with the great David Lynch. And I'm wearing the Bob's Big Boy hat because after the physical, I picked up Kevin Christie and we went over to Bob's Big Boy in Burbank. If you have never gone there, it is a must go. If you're a tourist coming to town, go over there, get a cheeseburger. They're open. I believe this still may be open all night. I can't remember, but when I started comedy 15 years ago, every night after the open mics, excuse me, I would go over to Bob's Big Boy with other new comedians, and we'd sit down and order cheeseburgers and just talk about comedy, just how hard it was and the confusion and what do you do? I mean, I remember I think me and Red Band used to go there quite a bit. Brian lived in Burbank before he moved to Texas. He lived in the same spot forever. And a group of us would go over to Bob's Big Boy. Later on, I ended up eating at the 101 Cafe where Swingers was filmed. I'd go there every night of my comedy career for the first, I would say, from year 2 to year 5. But for the first couple years, I'd be at Bob's Big Boy. And this is a spot that David Lynch used to go to every day at 2:30, order a chocolate shake and work on stuff, ideas. And it's a place for that. Bob's Big Boy has got a serious vibe. On the Friday nights, I think it's Friday nights, they do this hot rod car thing because it's one of those old school drive-ins like you see on American Graffiti where you can pull up and you can order the food and the people roller skate out to you with the tray. Remember that? You put the tray on your window, you roll down your window and just hang the tray off. Just eat in your fucking 1980 Porsche, stinking it up with chili fries. It's one of the coolest places in LA, and thank God it's still here. It really is one of those things you drive by and you go, there's some fucking LA history. There's some LA soul right there. So, yeah, David Lynch would go there every day. So Kevin Christie and I went over there, and us both being David Lynch freaks, went over there and paid a full tribute to the memorial. It was beautiful. all these cool things, memorabilia from the movies that people had made, like The Ear. Remember The Ear? Blue Velvet, and then The Log Lady. And what else was over there? Somebody had a Lost Highway CD there. I got it all up on my Instagram. Go look at it. There's so much great memorabilia. I hope they don't just throw it away, because I would put some of that shit in my house. Somebody had painted a painting of David Lynch and had it framed and laid it up there. There was a lot of great stuff. I picked up this fucking this corduroy. Let's see here. Corduroy Bob's Big Boy. This is the I wear trucker hats usually, but I might be into the corduroy fucking old man. This is the old man. I don't play golf, but this is definitely one of those fucking dad hats. I'm not. I'm the furthest from a. I'm a dad to Gertie, actually. I look out for her, but this hat. I had to have this hat. I was like, this hat is dumb. Let's bring it on. David Lynch. I can't even tell you. I put it into an Instagram story, but I can't even tell you what this man means to me, what he's meant to me, what he taught me, the inspiration that he's given me over all the years. Hands down, one of the coolest fucking looking humans ever. The perfect fucking hair. Him and Jim Jarmusch. Their hair, just unreal. But David Lynch's hair and his mentality and the way that he conducted his life, unbelievable. I first discover David Lynch from The Elephant Man. I randomly went to go see The Elephant Man. What year was that? Let me look it up here. Elephant Man. Hold on. I'm curious what year that was, because I like to know how old I was. Let's see. Elephant Man was 1980. Oh my God. I'm a freshman in high school. There it is. 1980. I go see The Elephant Man. I walk out of there so fucking moved. And I was like, what did I just see? And from then on, of course, I go back, watch Eraserhead, which is 1977. But from then on, I am a David Lynch addict. I just couldn't believe how great of a film that was. And then I'm on board. I'm on board. Now, here's something funny. I want to look this up, because when I was growing up, Twin Peaks, the TV series, came out, and I didn't watch any of that, because at that time, and still even right now, I had stopped watching TV because I was 1000% playing music and on tour or in the recording studio or rehearsing or writing music or out seeing music. But I remember there was kind of this type of dude, woman and dude, female and man look that was popping around San Francisco. And it was almost like early hipster. You're kind of like, what are these people dressed like? And then I realized, and they'd be smoking clove cigarettes, maybe listening to The Cure. And I was like, David Lynch got a TV show out. And I still just didn't have the time. I don't even think I had a VCR. Back then you had it was unbelievable what you had to do to program your VCR. Look, I am fucking tech savvy, and you needed to figure out how to program your VCR to tape something while you were gone. It was almost impossible not to miss one or two. Like, it didn't fucking work this time. Goddamn VCR. Anyway, I was out on Twin Peaks. But when you're on the road, a movie comes out and you got a day off on the road or whatever. And in San Francisco, they had the best indie theater in my neighborhood. And I would go see every David Lynch. So up next for me was Blue Velvet. Now, one of the honors in my life, one of the greatest things that ever happened to me was doing a film with Dennis Hopper. I did Hell Ride, and when I am a fucking, I call Dennis Hopper the greatest of all time, just because his career was a career that you would want. He always did just iconic roles. Easy Rider, Blue Velvet, what's that one? Thumbs up the goddamn fucking thing. That one, Colors, of course, I love. But that one where he's Waterworld. Anyway, Apocalypse Now. All fucking Dennis Hopper. I am 100% Dennis Hopper. I do a movie with him, and the entire time, every time I would see him, in my mind, it'd be like, Pabst Blue Ribbon, Heineken, that's for pussies. Pabst Blue Ribbon. That one, and like, are they going to call him a wise man? Are they going to call him a compassionate man? No, man. They're not going to fucking call him that, man. They're not going to talk about him, man. Wise man. God damn, that shit would fucking ring in my head. And there he was, right there, the first day on the set. Dennis Hopper comes rolling up in his tan leather. I got my fucking beard. I'm dirty biker. I'm method acting. I haven't showered in a week. I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm like, yeah, I'm on a biker film. Tarantino presents. But I was fucking stunned and in awe when I saw him. And I talked to him about Apocalypse Now and Blue Velvet. I go, fucking Frank Booth. You couldn't go anywhere in the rock world without everybody talking about Frank Booth with the fucking mask. Look at me, you fucking pussy. Fucking, don't you look at me. What a goddamn role. And there's fucking David Lynch grabbing one of the most spectacular performances ever from Dennis Hopper. That's it, man. That Blue Velvet comes out and it is over. It is a game changer in filmmaking. Okay? It is storytelling to the darkest. And what's really crazy right now is all of these David Lynch films, as dark as they fucking get, it does not even come close to these dark times right now. It is fucking dark out there. But the way that David Lynch told stories and the cinematography and the music and the vibe and the look and the clothing, everything has been such an inspiration to me most of my life, you know. After that comes Nicolas Cage in the fucking classic Wild at Heart. And Wild at Heart, man, that snake jacket, I had that snake jacket. Excuse me. Ugh, man, fucking look at that. I got to kind of make noises so you don't think the podcast ended if you're not watching it. Oh, yeah. Wild at Heart. What a fucking crazy ass film, right? Nicolas Cage crushing it. This jacket is a symbol of who I am, or whatever what is that fucking line he does, man? It is so great. Laura Dern, complete muse for David Lynch in multiple Lynch films. Laura Dern, just a crusher. Wild at Heart. And then what do we get? We get the masterpiece of all fucking time, Mulholland Drive. Now, out of all of them, Mulholland Drive is my favorite. The one that really is close to my heart, that's just completely weird, is Fire Walk with Me. My mom and I went to Florida to go to Disney World, and Hurricane Andrew, I think it was, came blowing through there, and everything was shut down except for the movie theater. We had flown all the way out to Florida. So we ended up going to see Fire Walk with Me. I believe Chris Isaac's in that. Log Lady. It's got all the classics. Anyway, I remember my mom halfway through the movie, she's like, "What is this?" My mom liked weird shit. She was cool. My mom was super cool, but she was like, "What is going on?" But Mulholland Drive, a lot of people moved to Los Angeles for rock and roll, and then the other people move for acting or filmmaking or whatever. To me, Mulholland Drive and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is Tarantino, are the two ultimate dark ass fucking Los Angeles films. Mulholland Drive actually captures the underbelly, scary weirdness of Los Angeles. And I think scary in a way of when you're moving to Los Angeles from wherever the fuck you are, Hoboken, New Jersey, or, Toledo, Ohio, or Saskatchewan, whatever, here, in your mind, and or maybe in your parents' mind or your friend's mind, they're thinking, "Oh, you're going to go there. You're going to get fucking kidnapped. You're going to get murdered. You're going to fucking lose your mind. You're going to overdose on that." Mulholland Drive fucking meets Dragnet. Back in the day, Dragnet, 2:30, downtown Los Angeles. In your mind, you're like, "Man, it's going to be scary as fuck." Then you get here and you're like, "Oh, fuck, this is kind of weird, but this is what's great about it. It's weird." Which, by the way, I have a new rule. If you're a anti-California, if you're one of those people that shits on California, I doubt you're listening to this podcast. But if you are, there should be a new law put in place. If you shit on California and you shit on the liberals and you shit on this and you shit on that, no more TV or movies for you. You don't get to watch TV anymore because that's who's making it, California. A lot of liberal artists and shit. Whatever your politics are, I don't give a fuck. But lean into it. Lean into it then. To be, fuck those libertards. Let's see what's on TV tonight. All right, Three's Company. Nah, man, no more TV. You got to watch. You just get to watch the UFC, and you can't even watch the NFL or any sports because there's different races on there, and you don't like those different races. So no football, no basketball. Also, you don't get to eat potato chips anymore because that was invented by a black man. No potato chips, your favorite. So no football, no basketball, and no baseball because you definitely don't like Hispanics. So there you go, buddy. You get to watch the UFC, and that's it. That's all you get to watch. Come on. Prove your loyalty. Just like I say with the liberals. Yeah, you're driving your Tesla. Go set it on fire. Fucking put a fucking full-on statement. Yeah. Both sides. Fucking prove it. Prove it out there. I don't know. David Lynch, Mulholland Drive. Goddamn fucking amazing. The one I need to Dune. I saw Dune when I was young. And Dune, I kind of walked out of there like, what's going on with Sting and shit? Dune, I need to watch Dune again, and I need to watch Lost Highway again. Inland Empire. I remember this one specifically because I was riding my motorcycle down to the Comedy Store to sign up, maybe for an open mic or so. What year is that? No, that's '06. I wasn't doing comedy yet. So I was doing something. I was on my motorcycle. And I pulled up to this stoplight, and there's like this church on the corner of Hollywood Boulevard, and I think it's La Brea. I'm not quite sure, but I look to the right. There's a guy sitting in this chair with a giant cow next to him and a bullhorn. And I go, hey, that fucking David Lynch. I go, hey, man, what's going on? He's all, hey. And I just rode off. Like, I don't know why I didn't pull over and immediately talk to him. I must have had to be somewhere or something, but I'm like, that's fucking David Lynch right there. And he was promoting Inland Empire. And I believe my buddy Britt, who Blackboard Jungle Britt, I think he met him at the Tower Records parking lot also. So, I mean, I didn't meet him. I just saw him. I was 2 feet away. Like, hey, man, Inland Empire is a 4 hour, just insane ride. And I read he first started Inland Empire because he got these new cameras and he wanted to figure out how to work these cameras. So he made this kind of 20-minute thing called The Rabbit Family, which you can watch on YouTube. And then he was like, well, I should just fucking build a movie around this. And I remember going to see it at the Sunset 5 by myself at like 2 o'clock on a Tuesday. And I sat through there and watched that thing. And I was like, that's going to take me years to unravel what was going on in that film. It didn't really make sense, but it might make sense later in life as you keep watching it going like, oh, I see what's going on here. But I believe that might have been the last film he did. Am I right on that? Then they brought back the Twin Peaks, of course. And then the darkest time of my life was 2 years ago when my mom had passed, January 2nd. And I was in my mom's house and just taking care of stuff. And I'm in my mom's room. She's gone. It doesn't get any darker than that time in my life. Just in my mom's house, my everything is gone, and I'm just in there. And I Paramount Plus, I believe, started showing Twin Peaks again. So I started from season 1 and started watching this, and I don't think you could get any darker than losing the most amazing person in your life, whoever it is to you, my mother, and then you start watching Twin Peaks. That was probably the lowest I've ever felt in my life. There's been a couple other low points, but nothing comes close to that. Here I am watching this dark ass show, and it was gloomy because Twin Peaks is dark and fucking twisted, and I was like, what am I doing watching this? But yeah, I watched it, and somehow I got through it, and here we are. We lost the great David Lynch. And, you could sit there and point fingers like, oh, well, he smoked and stuff. And it's like, I understand the power of everybody has to have something. And for David, the pleasure of a cigarette and a coffee, I 100% get it. Like I'm battling that reflux and they're like, no caffeine. I'm like, it's all I have. I love this ice matcha. So if I can just stay clean and just drink that, you got to have something. I'm working on a bit right now where I quit sugar. And what if the fucking, you know, a nuclear bomb comes next year or in 6 months or whatever? This is how dark I think. And I'm like, wait a minute. I only got about, 7 years out of this. I quit sugar so I could live a long extra life. If I knew it was coming like this, these dark ass fucking, who knows what's going to fucking happen. I should have just kept eating sugar. Right? It's like, oh, when I got run over on the motorcycle, right? I was thinking like I should have kept eating sugar. I thought I was about to die. I was like, I only got like 8 months out of this. I was quitting sugar to get like another 20 years, but I only got 8 months. Fuck, I should have ate Swedish fish. This is a pretty dark episode, huh? I know. I was sitting in the back of the room at the Comedy Store a couple days ago, and there's a lot of great comedians there, really good ones, and some are silly and fun. And I watch them, and I go, how the fuck can you write silly stuff? How do you do that? Like, how do you wake up in the morning and the fucking insanity isn't on you? Like, get up, like, I'm going to do a bit about squirrels. Yeah. How do you do that? It's fucking, I'm in awe of that. Like, you could just do silly bits. I couldn't do it, man. I mean, I just don't know how to drum up the silly, man. I'm just out there like, oh. Mm. I just look in the past like 5, 6, 7 years, run over on my motorcycle, beat it. Diabetes, beat it. COVID era almost wiped out every business in LA and all the comics careers and film and TV, beat it. Writers, actors strike, weathered through it. Licorice root, fucking Los Angeles fires, arson. It's like, keep throwing them at me, man. I'll fucking hit these fuckers with this bat. It is wild how much we take. We are taking the fucking, take it to the face, as the great Darnell Rawlings would say. Take it to the face. It is fucking crazy. I'll tell you what, though. I wake up each day, I see Gertie, and I'm healthy. And I'm like, you know what, man? I'm just going to shut off the news. And I'm not going to be desk scrolling anymore on garbage. I'm just going to love the people around me and hang out with great people around me and raise each other up, help each other, and just fucking live it, man. Live it. Any day you could fucking drop dead and you're over there battling someone on fucking X/Twitter. Motherfucker, I'll tell you. It's like, nah, not going to get that anymore from me. I don't really engage in that shit anyway, but I'm just here now. I'm here and I hope I can help people with the podcast, make them feel good, nice and gloomy like today. Let me throw some gloom on you. Mm. Anyway, tour dates are coming up. Got some tour dates. Rest in peace, David Lynch. Rest in peace, John Sykes. And rest in peace, Garth Hudson. Tour dates are coming up. I'm going to be in Vegas the 10th through the 16th of February at the Comedy Cellar. And then 26, 27, 28, 29. I can't believe how many shows I'm doing in fucking San Francisco. I wasn't even paying attention. They're like, hey, you want to do these? I'm like, sure. And then I look, I go, wait, why am I there 4 fucking days? I don't mind if all the shows were packed. Fuck yeah, I'll do San Fran for 2 fucking weeks. But I'm like, God damn, this is a run. A Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Anyway, I hope to see you at the Punchline in San Francisco. And then Comedy Fort in, I believe, June in Fort Collins, Colorado. Going back to the Blue Room in St. Louis. Wait, where is that? No, not St. Louis. Oh, I was going to say a St. Louis date, but that's a corporate gig. I'm doing a corporate gig. I can't believe it. I do one like once in a while. I'm always like, you sure you got the right guy? Did anybody see my material? John Sykes passed away yesterday, and I want to give a huge shout out to him. I feel like I'm one of the few that probably hung out with John Sykes quite a bit in the last part of his life. And I met him while I was working at Van Nuys Harley around, how many years was that? Years ago now. Let's see. I've been doing comedy 15 years. In the first 3 years, I was selling motorcycles. So, 11 years ago or so, I remember what happened. I was working at the Van Nuys Harley, the same one where the guy fucking rocket launched his Dyna in front of all of us and the bike ghost rided into a bunch of bikes. Same place. And I remember, now I think this is how it went down because it's blurry, but my boss, Doug McGuire, I think he came in and said, "Hey, Delray, there's some long-haired rock and roller out there in the parking lot. Go grab him." The boss would come in and there'd be a customer out there. I go out, there's a Hummer. There's a big old fucking Hummer, and there's a guy with long blonde hair. And, it's very rare you see a guy that looks like, he's from like 1980, like a Ted Nugent looking dude. And as I come walking up, I'm like, hey, what the? I think that's fucking John Sykes. So I said, "Hey, Sykes." And he goes, "Hey, mate." And I go, "Hey, Dean Delray, I booked you at the Stone, Blue Murder." And he's like, "Oh, fuck yeah. All right. How are you, man?" And that was it, man. We fucking hit it off over motorcycles and metal and cars. And he would come down couple times a week and just hang out. He had a motorcycle and we would talk fucking shop, pipes, cams, soft tails, hard tails, choppers, like for hours. He would just hang out at Van Nuys Harley. And we became really good friends. Matter of fact, when I first started comedy, I was trying to get him to come to a show. Now, the interesting thing about John Sykes was he definitely felt like a recluse, like nobody. And, I know Eddie Trunk talks about how he became friends with him or whatever, but I think even when I was talking to Eddie Trunk early on, he had never even met or seen John Sykes, or maybe he knew him, but nobody had been talking to this guy. Everybody, like all the chat boards were like, "Where's John Sykes? What happened to John Sykes?" And, even when I talked to Carmine and we were talking about Blue Murder, he didn't really elaborate on what was going on with John. No one knew John was sick. And I bet a lot of people just didn't even know if he was alive still because he had basically disappeared almost in a, what's going on with Jack Nicholson right now. He recently, a photo of him came up. His daughter put up, and you're like, "Whoa, fuck, there's Jack." Well, I'm telling you, I got some photos of Sykes and I'm going to dig up, but we hung out a lot. So much so that I looked up the last time I texted him because for years he kept saying he was going to do the podcast. Let's see here. John Sykes. And he'd be like, "I'm working on music. I'll come do the podcast." So at one point, he said he wanted to do it. This was January 3rd, 2024, almost a year ago to the day. He said, "Hey, let's do that podcast tomorrow night And so then I don't hear from him. And then I hit him back and I said, "What time tonight?" And I never heard from him again. That was at 6:18 p.m., January 3rd, 2024. And my former boss, Doug McGuire, had hit me up yesterday and he was just like, fuck, dude, Sykes, because he had become buddies with him too. We love John Sykes, not necessarily because he was the superstar and Thin Lizzy and Blue Murder and all that, but he was just fucking cool to hang around and just shoot the shit. And I think he loved us because, yeah, we weren't like, "Yo, dude, tell us about that time in Thin Lizzy." And the Sykes era of Thin Lizzy, I'm one of those weirdos. That's my favorite. We got Renegade, then and then the lineup changes again, and then Thunder and Lightning comes around, and here comes John Sykes, and he co-writes "Cold Sweat," which is hands down top three Thin Lizzy songs of all time for me. And that record, Thunder and Lightning, is a kick in the fucking ass. It comes hard. It comes hard, and then the live record is totally my favorite live record over the other live record because you get material from Renegade, which is my favorite Thin Lizzy record. I love Angel of Death, Renegade, that whole thing. Um, but Thunder and Lightning, killer song, Sun Goes Down, unbelievable. Holy War, Thunder and Lightning record, and John Sykes, his playing is amazing. The Black Les Paul, and then Blue Murder, right there at the Stone, man. Just there he is, John Sykes, 2 feet away, just blazing it, singing killer, looking fucking great, amazing player. And who knew? Just out of nowhere yesterday, John Sykes passes away, and you're just going like, "Fuck, cancer, god damn it, brutal." But I am very thankful that I had some time with John Sykes. He really would light up the day down there at Van Nuys Harley because some days would just go long. You're just kind of like, it's 110 outside. You got a bunch of fucking dicks coming in. Can I see the blue one again? And you're just going, oh my God. And then he would come in and we would just fucking crack up and just clown around, man. Clown around. Pour one out for Lynch, John Sykes, and Garth Hudson. Garth Hudson, fucking legend. The band, come on. Anyway, we lost 3 serious, real legends this week, and it is brutal. It is a sock in the fucking chin. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Real quick, let me see here. Anything else to talk about? I really appreciate your guys' support. DeanDelray.com for tickets to all my shows. Patreon.com/Dean Delray for the bonus episodes. There'll be a new bonus episode coming up. I'm going to be talking about Gary Richrath from REO Speedwagon. I think he's one of the greatest underrated guitar players of the 80s, late 70s, 80s. And let's see, what else I'm going to be talking about some other great stuff on there. Before I leave, I want to give a shout out to a new band that actually kind of blew my mind. Somebody sent me last week. Perfect type of music right now if you just need to kind of chill in your mind and let the fucking the rattle settle down. This band somebody sent me over, and if I would have known about this record, it would have been in my top 10 for sure for 2024. That's when it came out. I didn't know about it until this week. American Analog Set. That's the name of the band. American Analog Set. And the record is called New Drifters. And it came out in 2024. Now they have other albums out, but this record I think it's 24 songs. It is amazing. If you're into atmospheric, kind of keyboard, trippy, almost David Lynch music, you're going to want to dig into this band, American Analog Set. And speaking of trippy music, and the passing of David Lynch, the day David Lynch passed, I went to see the movie called The Brutalist. And I can't think, The Brutalist probably couldn't get made without people like David Lynch, because the way the industry is, especially now, of just fucking Superman, Spider-Man, X-Man, whatever, comic book fucking movies, um, it is almost impossible to get some kind of original film made. But every year or so, one squeaks in there. Like, what was that? The Power of the Dog, stuff like that. These films, Get Out, these movies, like once a year, something gets made, and you're like, well, who the fuck is the genius that greenlit that? Because let that guy fucking work more at a studio. And that's what The Brutalist is, man. And it was a perfect film to see on the day of David Lynch's passing, because it is dark as fuck. It is an insane story, and it is all things Lynch, not in a weird type of really weird Lynch, but in a dark way of Lynch, of like, what am I even watching here? It covers the most insane aspects of humanity. You're just going like, this is fucking dark, and it's really good. It's long, heads up, it's 3.5 hours, but they got an intermission, and I recommend seeing it on 70 millimeter. I went down to Tarantino's theater, the Vista, sat down at 7 p.m. and I'm making a real conscious effort to go to the movies once a week and support the movie industry, something that I absolutely love. I don't like watching shit at home. I'm going to the movie theaters once a week. I'm going to see movies where they're supposed to be made in the fucking theater, even if I got to battle some texters and talkers, which I usually don't. If you go to the proper theater like the Vista, you're not going to get animals. Animals go to the $3 screenings, the dollar show, the matinee special Friday, animals. I go on Monday at noon or Tuesday at noon, and I'm in there with other movie lovers. I even went to the movies with a friend, and they texted for a minute. I barked. I was like, hey, no. That's why I always go alone. I was like, no, absolutely not. Fucking white light just hitting the side of me. Anyway, I cannot recommend The Brutalist enough. Adrian Brody, unfucking real. The music's unreal. The look of this film. Here I am, an architecture freak. I love architecture. So I'm going and going, oh, I'm going to go see a movie about the brutalist style of architecture. Yeah, cool. And man, did I come out like, what the fuck did I just see? And I've been unraveling and taking it in for the last week. So I cannot recommend this movie enough. And once again, so that's my second movie. I saw the Complete Unknown, the Bob Dylan film. Anyway, go see The Brutalist. And even if you don't like it, it's going to give you something to talk about. I think that's what's great about movies, because we don't really do that anymore. Remember, I think the last film, Inception, the ending, that everybody talked about it for like a year. Man, I think Inception, no, this is what it's about. The top was spinning, and then fucking blah, blah, blah. And man, that's some great That's the kind of engagement and arguing I like to do. Like that fun over art, like, oh yeah, yeah. Not like, oh yeah, well, I don't think they should have any rights. Well, I think it fucking da da da. No, no, it's like the brutalist. What do you think? Anyway, go see the brutalist. Come see me out doing some comedy, working on new material. And I love all you guys. The candles are lit. Stay strong. Support Los Angeles. Go out and see Burr and Shane Gillis, Los Angeles. Also, there's another giant benefit at the LA Forum with John Mayer and a bunch of cool people. A lot of ways to support. Redcross.com. You can go there and check that out. Donate, help. Tons of people need help right now. I mean, a ton of people. Also, North Carolina, still fucking hurting. Knock on some fucking doors out there. Hey, FEMA, what happened to your support out there? Keep these people fucking, don't disappear on these people. After the news stops covering it, dig in, find out what's going on out there. Are people still struggling? God, yeah, they are. I love you guys. Candles lit.